Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. One of the most under-taught things when it comes to attraction is body language. In fact, there's some people that have tried to teach it. They usually tell you how to, in fact, I've been guilty for this one. When I used to be a dating coach, I would teach our clients how to have good body language. And body language would be, getting your legs to be shoulder width apart, keep your hands on your side, have your chest out a little bit, make very good eye contact, have a very low voice tone, speak from your belly rather than speaking from your chest. So there were so many things that we could teach around it, but it was really underserving the clients because we quickly realized that over a period of time, as we're teaching this, that you could teach it and people could do it, but most usually when somebody gets under pressure, they would regress into beta behavior, just like for a better term. So they'll shrivel back into something that is unattractive. So it became important for us to discover a way of teaching them body language and being consistent to conveying that body language. So it came up to a point where I was pretty much obsessed about this. Like, what is that thing that's going to cause somebody to behave that way? And I was lucky enough to be watching, what was it? Was that King's Speech? And there's a film, and this guy was stuttering, and so he had a coach and so on. And it came to the point where they were talking about that he had to have a certain emotional state in order to be able to be confident enough to speak, because it was not really him uttering that was the most important. It was more about the state. And it gave me the idea that actually, in order for somebody to convey positive body language, they have to feel a certain way about themselves, or at least they have to maintain a certain state around themselves. So obsessively went down this path up to the point I arrived to the point where I call to this thing a neutral state, where you're not obsessed, your emotions are not dictated by the events that are happening externally. What does that mean? It's that if, for example, if my wife decided she wanted to have sex with me, I'm not going to get overly excited by the prospect. If she rejects me, however, I'm not going to get disappointed by it. I'll continuously be on a good state. If I win £1 million, I would be excited, but I would like to have a lid on that and say, you know what, I've won this money, but still remain at a neutral state. And when you can have that and consistently on that, that's the thing that you're trying to convey more than the show of the masculinity, that I'm standing this way because I'm a masculine man. She's going to feel that before she sees what you're doing. So even if I've got my hands crossed across my chest, I can still convey confidence without, because of the state that I'm portraying. So this became a very powerful thing that we're teaching the clients, and I've taught this for many years and refined it. And within changing a sexless relationship, this is probably one of the most important pieces that you have to have. So as you know from yesterday, me and my partner were at a little bit of a tiff, and it was up to her to then try and close the gap that had been created. So she was doing her best. And one of the things was, when she was getting dressed, she was trying to be all sexy as she was putting stuff on. But I remained at the neutral state. I didn't react to it. And it became more important, and this is the lesson for today, where I was non-reactive to her being a little bit sexual. And that being non-reactive was me saying that I can see the investment that you're doing, but I want you to dial it up. So by not reacting, she then wanted to amp things up. And this was very important, because most of you guys, when she gets all sexy or makes a little bit of an investment, you give her a reward, and therefore she now is trained to know that, okay, this is the investment that you're willing to take. So for example, if you go to, keeping the Ferrari example, usually if you want to buy a Ferrari in the UK, it could cost you anywhere between 150 to 200,000. If I approach that dealership with 50 grand, then most likely, because they're going to say, no, you're far short of the asking price. So most of you guys, you have a asking price of 200 grand. But when she comes and gives you 50 grand, you're willing to take it, and therefore it devalues the thing that which is sex. So again, it becomes important for those interactions that you're allowed to keep control of your state, because obviously you're aroused by what you're seeing, but more importantly, by keep maintaining that neutral state, it gives you an opportunity to really show that your price and say, okay, if you want to engage in this, you're going to have to increase your price. Very, very important. So in this interaction we had, it was pretty cool. The other important part about the interaction that we had is that I was trying to ramp it up when things were going. So she was trying to ramp things up. So she amped the ante, and as a passing comment, I said, on Saturday I'm going to jiu-jitsu. Now, Saturday morning is the time that we'll most likely be doing it. Now, that was me disqualifying myself. Now, most of you guys, the difference is that because we're now in that sexual interaction, most of you guys will start trying to qualify yourself into that, which is massive. Now, this is, if there's a time you've listened to this podcast and you want to learn something, if you listen to this bit and you implement it into your relationship, this is going to be the thing that's going to change everything for you. When you are within an sexual interaction, now, most people would get into the sexual interaction where maybe you've successfully got her to increase the price, as we said it, and because she's increased the price and it feels like things are really going really well, you then turn the tables and start trying to qualify yourself. And by doing so, it's, again, you're lowering your price. So you've moved from asking for 50, you have taken her 50 grand and she's now said, I've got 90, and it's still short of the asking price. And then you say, okay, because you've just increased the price, I'm willing to meet you in that halfway. Again, setting yourself short. Again, it doesn't increase the value into what you're trying to build, and therefore it's not as exciting. It's like the cat. So I don't know if you've got a cat. We do have one, and whenever I play with the cat, I string around the toy, she goes absolutely nuts fighting to get this thing. But when I give her the toy, she's got no interest whatsoever. And this is the same thing, that this is all part of the game. When you can ask her for the asking price, which is 200 grand in this case, and she's moved from 50 to 90, you do not then give in. So in this case, most people would give in. Then while the interaction might go well, it decreases the chances of her wanting to come back, because there isn't that much excitement, there isn't that much difficulty. I'll bring it back. It's similar to a game. Like, why do you think people play Call of Duty? Why do you think people go and do all these things, these games? I don't play them myself, so I wouldn't know how to explain. But the principle behind it is that by overcoming that difficulty, it's going to release a dopamine feeling. And that's what you are trying to create within that attraction. So when you are sexually disqualifying, which what I did, which I said, I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu, I'm disqualifying and saying, okay, after you've made this whole effort, it's still at 90 grand, but in order for you to get me to be there with you on Saturday, I'm going to require you to offer up 200 grand, the asking price. So therefore, it was now me trying to say, amp it up. And again, she knows that that's the only time we've got. I'm now allocating, that's me sexually disqualifying myself in order for her to increase the price that I'm asking, or at least increase. I'm increasing the cost so that she can pay the price that is required for me to be there, which is a very important thing. Now, how does that have to do with you having a neutral state? It all hinges on a neutral state. If I'm really coming from a negative point of view where I'm still butthurt about what happened yesterday, that will not come across well. It will really be a horrible thing. She will think that you're being spiteful, and then therefore it will make it a sour interaction. If I'm excited because she's these prospects of having sex, it puts pressure on her now for performance, and then therefore she might want going back into a shell. So having a neutral state and also disqualifying herself becomes this really good place, or at least a happy medium, to get things to a place where you can get really excited and do something amazing. So this is day 2. And I know there was a lot to unpack with this one. Hopefully, it all makes sense. But if you really want more information around this, you can go to our Instagram, Thriving_Tribesmen, and then just type in attraction, and I will send you over a free guide on how to do this. There's 3 tips that I'll give you within that lesson. It's a little training that I've got. It's about 45 minutes. It covers quite a lot of bits that we teach within Reignited Men. So again, it goes a little bit deeper into attraction gap, which is what this was. So this is the whole concept is called attraction gap. I go a little bit deeper into the attraction gap and how the concepts behind it and so on. So, and like I said, it's for free. So just go to Instagram, Thriving_Tribesmen, and then DM me the word attraction, then I know that I can send you the free guide. So